Peace and blessings. It's your brother now that's born alive here. And the reason to honor thy mother. So I'm going to get into that. I'm going to share some things of my own mother and more. I don't know how long I'm going to be on here. Take a little time to honor the wounds that gave us birth, honor the wounds that gave us life, and we'll get into that right after a word from our sponsors.
Okay, it's your mother. I'm just calling, checking to see if you got home safe, son. Give me a call so I can, I won't worry. Love you. Bye.
I woke up out of a good night's sleep and slipped right into a daydream that may seem like a lifetime. Then the night rewind to this light shine upon my face as I awake to daydreaming to chase demons way to the evening till I'm sleeping. Then I awake, freeze, and I start screaming. It's late, sharp breathing, my heart still beating. Running through the pocket patch, thunderclap, lightning, rain, rivers running from the gaps, valleys, plains, hills, cornfields, sun and path, running back above the map. Is this sleep deprivation, or am I on deep medication? Am I meditating till I'm asleep, but I keep awakening? I'm searching for the requiem inside my mind's aquariums, trying to break free from this lucid entrapment, using music as my blueprint for magic, my inception to my insurrection for madness. Blessed be priest message, each record's a classic. Pray there's no wreckage when her spirit exit the casket. I called her mommy till she's wrapped like a mummy. My first spaceship was her tummy. I ate what she ate when I'm hungry. Humbled, my arms crumbled as the grates was taking her from me. I shook like a quake, her spirit lift like a ship from a lake. Comfortably, when they come for me, I'ma embrace the entire space, the sun and sea. Then shout, Mom, you did great. Wonderfully, I came from the thunder inside your belly, healthy with 1 or 2 teeth. You taught me to speak, then God told me to preach, and gave me a sword for his head. I'ma take hold of the beast. Soon as your soul release, I'ma let go of peace. Now I'm ready for the war that was shown to me. I'm the devil's hunter, that's the spirit I'm under. I'ma chase you to nightfall, to the sun up, to break the chains of asunder. I have insomnia, on my way to the Andromeda. Study the planets like an astronomer. Interstellar, I'm telling with the elders from South America. I'm 51, am I familiar with that area? I'm with the healers when I wrote Rocket to Nebula. My veins are filled with the ancestors' blood, and I'm a replica of the messenger. When it rains, it's just a flood to cover the plains from something high-tech above. The unexplained, the sun is my main. I'm unreachable, untamed, unspeakable, unchanged. I remain the same. Only see growth through my deep quotes. Tell Thoth, I'm in deep thought. I could break a bill if they free range. My mother's initials on God's keychain. Storm bills, cornfields, chasing up the Laurel Hill. I'll get at the sworn deals, born skills. Wintertime, warm meals. My mother's gone, I'm on still. Waking up the morning chills. Peer to a dimension, fillers to filters. Of spirits for healers. To becoming wireless into splitters. To deliver. You begin losing signal, they're a little. Into crystals, in the middle. Behind the moon's gateway, in the shape of an egg. No more naysayers as you're going through the lunar haze. Face plates. Infinity in the 8 shaped. The time is wintry, you see the gray 8. Then turn to the grave and say, where's your debate? For this is fate. I start unplugging, debugging. Before my transition, make man see woman. Then plant myself into the seed before the becoming. I'm still in the cornfield running. Interstellar, Cinderella, said Cinderfella. I transcend from the nebula. This is the end of an era. I wish you good luck in all your endeavors. Release the pressure, the depressor. Then read the letters. Encounter us without seeing a body, like you emailed us. Delightful that it's not when you contact us, it's when we write you back. I used to watch continents fall just by my chi energy alone. I never used stone. I destroy cities by using cotton balls and big pillars of silken clouds. I watched their towers go down like a comet hit their walls, then smash their buildings with fog. That is all. The post verse. Trying to phone home, picking up ETs on the main line. After I crash, I'm experiencing amnesia and deja vu at the same time. And an unexpected close encounter of the fifth kind. The Akashic Records, Book of Revelations, we experience the sixth sign. What the prophets predict, shift paradigms. Do we believe in the tarots or their minds? The man that travels through the shadows till he shines. Factual, they don't attack you, they attack the genes. My black queen took the vaccine. They blaspheme, ask Tutankhamun, they get curses when you unmask kings. Martin Luther and his one last dream. Riding bikes, climbing heights, whiny heights, flying kites. Lighting pipes, Mayan sights, driving pikes. By the blinding light, road of night, motorbike. Roller coaster sight, closer bright, poltergeist.
Okay, it's your mother. I'm just calling, checking to see if you got home safe, son. Give me a call so I can, well, I won't worry. Love you. Bye.
Message saved.
All right. So shout out to Killer Priest and his mother, Queen Mother Helen, for allowing me the privilege and honor of interviewing him on that album, one of the interviews in this archive. And if you look at volume 2, Voices of the Diaspora, dedicated to the Black woman, that interview is in there along with this song as the audio soundtrack for the book. All right. So why should we honor thy mother? Why? Why is it even a question? Why is it something noteworthy of discussion? And I was going to do this at 11, but I'm thankful that that hour has passed. So now we can just look at Mother as she is and not as she appears to be based off of celebration. State sponsored consumerism celebration. We could just look at Mother, we could just look at her in the way that she is so we can honor her. It's a commandment. You know, I hear a lot about the law, statutes, and commandments, right? I don't hear that commandment often. Honor thy mother and thy father so that thy days will be longer on the earth. So, what does that mean to honor mother? What does it mean in that realm to say, honor thy mother? Why should someone have to tell you? If someone says, honor thy mother, that means that there was a society that existed that did not honor their mothers. That's the first thing. Rules become necessary in the time space continuum or in a society where people have gone awry, where people have gone savage. When I read that, the story from Remember No Seer, people were eating themselves in this society that have gone away from honor into savagery, that gone away from being one with nature, with being in tune with nature, with being in tune with their nature and Mother Nature. So rules, laws, and statutes and commandments have to come back into existence to set the society back on a trajectory that no longer feeds on itself. I was watching that movie, The Woman King, and the Woman King, just the title alone had people in an uproar for months. I'm gonna call myself the man queen and all of this stuff. Just there's all kinds of things, like not even looking to see what it was. What does it mean to be Woman King? And if you saw the film, you would understand what it meant, who the Woman King was. There was a balance in this place called Benin, where they had the Mawu and the Liza, the divine masculine and divine feminine together, deciding how the rulership was happening in the kingdom. So the Mawu and the Liza in Benin had the deciding factors on how the nation was run. So the king was one, and the woman king was another. The woman king was not someone who was his wife or one of his wives. It was a woman who had the foresight and vision to help him rule the nation in the spots that were blind to him, something that was not in the immediate material view. So when his brother ruled, it was his mother. And when his brother transgressed the boundaries of rulership, he allowed his mother to be sold into servitude. And that was their business. Their business was servitude. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. So in that story, when the king took over rulership from his brother, he began to look at that. And he said that the future of the kingdom, similar to what Osea said in the story, you sell everybody, there's going to be nobody left. Similar, right? It's not what he said verbatim. But the woman king wound up being the general who was responsible for the army. So the female regiment that was there, they had a responsibility to the king, who in turn had a responsibility to the nation. So the general, Nanesca, saw that the earth could produce something that they could utilize to continue to sustain themselves. And they could move away from the selling of people or the trading of people, quote unquote. So this was a general who fought in war at the behest of the king and at the protection of the people in the kingdom. She could still see that the earth could produce what they needed to sustain themselves, while the king was concerned with the immediate needs of the people in that regard. He could not see beyond that, even though his own mother was captured and sold, his own mother. So when we looked at someone in regards to mother, in regards to mothering a nation, I might play a little bit of that. Not the movie, but since I said mothering a nation, the Queen Mother of Nin. So I asked her that question in the interview: what does it mean to be mother of a nation? And her response was profound. So I might play a little bit of that. Um, but mothering a nation, if you looked at the Shaka Zulu miniseries, um, Queen Nandi was the queen of queens. She was the woman king in Azania. She was the absolute authority. She was the check and balance for the king. The same functionality that it would be in Benin with the Mawuliza, divine masculine, divine feminine, coming together as one to rule the nation, to check and balance. So Naneska in the film, through her actions to fight against enslavers and to rescue her daughter, also to find a suitable means by which the people of that land could sustain themselves outside of what their known source of income was. So this was interesting on a bunch of levels. She was a mother, something that she kept hidden. And one of the reasons why the women who were under her command were not allowed to marry, but their men counterparts were allowed to marry and have families. So her daughter in the film had come from the village. She was considered unruly by her stepfather and mother. And they brought her to be at the service of the king. And she learns the ways. And soon discovers that her mother is the general. And she rejects it, and so does her mother, and then circumstances bring them together. So one of the wives of the king, who wanted to be the woman king, had conspired with the enslavers on a level. And when her daughter was taken, let me back up real quick. There's a scene in the movie where one of the wives of the king was talking to the eunuch in the film. And she was wondering why the king had always considered whatever the general had to say. It perplexed her, almost to the point of dissatisfaction. As a matter of fact, to the point of dissatisfaction. And the eunuch said to her, she stood with him when everybody turned against him. She fought. to restore order. He said to her, "You ran and you hid." She stood and fought. What do you have to offer? So there's a point of understanding to why which on a multitude of levels she would be chosen as woman king, unbeknownst to her. And then there's a part where she breaks ranks. She's ordered not to go to get her people, and she ignores that. And she looks as if she's sneaking away. And she looks like she's on this mission alone to go into this enemy territory to get her people out of there. And she's running, and there's a single shot of her running. And she's running, and she hears some footsteps behind her, and she turns around because she thinks, the leader of the men is coming after her because she snuck away. And she turns around, and it's all of her people with her and the men. So now you hear them running to the beat of the same drum. Their purpose is the same. Every step is the same. There's no questions asked. There's a unification that happened that wouldn't have happened because their lives are different. Could you imagine, okay, you pledging your loyalty to serve the king as a warrior, and that means that you could never be a woman in that way. Could never know a man, could never bear children, could never have a family. And Aneska told the people at the beginning if anybody wanted to leave, they could leave. Some people left, others stayed. So showing this historical living unit of people, showing mother on a multitude of levels. Mother as daughter, what it means to be daughter. Mother as sister, what it means to be a sister. Mother as mother, what it means to be mother on this level. Mother as priestess, what it means to be a priestess. Mother as warrior, what it means to be a warrior. Mother as consultant, what it means to be a consultant or an advisor to the king. Mother as wife, what it means to be a wife. And mother as the unseen force of a visionary, to see beyond the set of circumstances of the now and to have the foresight and the insight and vision to build a future. Mother to be one of doubt, of fear, and overcoming doubt and fear, and standing tall on retribution, standing tall as mother in the face of adversity with the lives of your people. with your own life hanging in the balance and fighting to eradicate slavery, injustice, the selling of human life, and adopting a mindset that is universal amongst your people. That we would never go there again. So they sought to right things anew, to correcting these situations of the past, to look towards the future righteously, and to call on the aid of God and to call on the aid of our ancestors. It's a magical sort of story that got distorted and lost in translation based off a title. Nowadays, we allow the audacity of fools and misguided ones and ones who are capitalized off of to fall victim to things. Mother is mother. She was, is, and always will be mother. There is no substitute for mother. There is no one likened unto her in the heavens or in the earth. That's a reason of honor. One, she, in gestation of her womb, gives birth to everything that is seen and unseen. She becomes the doorway between the seen world and the unseen world. She allows herself to be the conduit for what is given unto her. If she's to have 10 children, she'll have 10 children. Whatever it is in regards to what is to be seen and heard from the unseen, she becomes the portal by which the world bear witnesses to whatever her gift is. She is mother. She is not birthing person. She is mother. So I'm going to give y'all an opportunity to hear a little bit from my mother. Peace and blessings be upon my mother. Give y'all a little bit to see from whence I came. Not too much, but I gave you a little sample. Right? So let me show y'all a little of the video. This was November 20th, 2008. A. Rashid, Black Dot, True Master, and my mother came to Bavaria, Germany to give a 2-day lecture. My mother spoke first, and then Black Dot. Then day two, A. Rashid and True Master. So I was fresh home from one of those trips in war, and myself and four of my brothers got together and said we're going to bring some people to Germany to do a lecture. I told you the far-reaching implications of the conscious community was deep. So Black Dot and the crew was just in the UK prior to that. It just got back. And I hit them up about coming to Germany. Hit up Black Dot. He was like, no doubt. Hit up A. Rashid. I was like, he was like, no doubt. And I called my mother, and she was like, oh, need to go to this training in China. I said, okay, I'll send you. I said, what are you going to do when you get back from China? She said, oh, I'll be home with the fam. I said, nah, I'm coming to Germany to do this lecture. Got some of the brothers coming over, and it'll be a great gift if you would come and share a little bit with the family over there. And she agreed. She was like, these people don't be thinking I'll be going nowhere. I said, you've been all over the world. She said, yeah, but they don't know. I said, so if they think you bugging about China, what do you think? What do you think they're gonna say after you say you're going to Germany when you're coming back? So yeah, saying to China, she came back and then brought her over to Germany, but took her through France. And I took A. Rashid and them through the Netherlands to Amsterdam. So took my mother through France. So she got to get off the plane and walk through Charles de Gaulle Airport in France. Just so she could have an experience. After she did this lecture, she left around November 28th of 2008. It was the last time I saw her alive. Yeah, so this was the last time that I had physically saw my mother alive, November 28th, 2008. February 5th, 2009, she had transitioned. I got the call while I was in Germany. My eldest brother called me and I had got that news. So the spirit that animated this body that y'all about to see, that was my mother in the physical realm. After this lecture, this is the last time I had saw her. Till I saw her in the casket. So this became something that's a part of my life and live legacy that I continue to carry on tradition. So let me play a little bit of this and we'll see if we see mother in mother.
Information that my mother is about to share with you is real. I know it's a lot of, jack leg people out there in the street, ripping people off, but just my very existence and my other 6 brothers and sisters and my mother being here is a testimony, like a life testimony, that holistic health and natural herbs actually work. So without any further leeway, Miss Nadine Gilliard.
Thank you. And to have him tell you, my son, he said that I was whispering to him before in the womb. Mm-hmm. So he actually knew me before that. I certainly knew him. That's for sure. And but my name is Nadine Gilliard. I'm what is considered at this time, because I've been into this for 30 years. I've been doing holistic healing and natural medicines for 30 years. I deal with every disease imaginable, everything from the common cold to AIDS, and I've been very successful with all of that. I studied in China, Beijing, at the university there with the ancient doctors. I studied in Escondido, California, with some of the oldest herbalists in the world. Very fortunate for me. Okay, so they consider me being an old soul, and I can believe that because from the beginning of my birth, I just want to share with you how I got into this. I was born, the youngest girl of 15 children, and scientifically, when inherited weaknesses are when you're born with inherited weaknesses, they come in 10 to 20 years earlier for each generation, weaker and earlier for each generation. So me being born the youngest girl and my youngest brother came in with a lot of inherited weaknesses. So that's the instructions. I don't want to take a lot of time on that. I came in the world with
you can just hold that in your hand if you want, or you can just clip it.
Okay. I came in the world with colon cancer, cancer of the uterus, 3/4 of my kidney eaten away by tuberculosis, a hole in my lung, and a peptic ulcer. And without saying it, I wasn't supposed to be here because of all the trials and tribulations that I went through with doctors and traditional medicine. It didn't work for me, to say the least. Each time that they would find one thing wrong, and they would try to suppress it, because that's the only thing they were ever taught to do, is suppress that symptom, something else would come up, because drugs and chemicals are not designed for the human body. They have nowhere to go in the body, so they're going to cause some other dis-ease in the body. They call it disease, but it's a dis-ease, discomfortive system, meaning that waste has taken over space somewhere in the body where it doesn't belong, causing systems not to be able to do the function that it should. And that's all disease is, okay? You have 102 systems in the body. Your body produces 1 billion cells every hour. You're made up of 12 trillion cells. So you're really just one big cell tissue. And the way you become ill, or dis-ease, as I like to say, is toxic material that we inhale, we ingest from just the air we breathe, the foods we eat, the clothes we wear, and all these kinds of things. We're constantly ingesting poison into our cells, and they die off. Well, the science that I learned, the science is called iridology, which was our first medical science that originated out of Africa. Iridology, of course, means the study of. So you have the study of the iris of the eye, which is iridology. Then you have the study of the feet, which is reflexology. And then you have the study of the hands, which is kinesiology. And all that really means is that you have a corresponding organ to every organ and system of the body through your eyes, hands, and feet. Iridology is the most accurate science there is. It's 98% accurate. It'll show you anything that you need to know throughout your entire system. And I can blink in your eyes to do it because I've been doing it for 30 years. Try doing something over and over every day for 30 years and see how sharp you become with that, you know. So I like to explain it and I like to show it because it seems sort of spooky, so to speak, because we're not used to the simpler things in life. The medical profession has really complicated things. They've made things seem real scary, and it is real scary. A lot of times, put in their hands, it's scary because they don't always have your best interest at heart, and they know that drugs and chemicals are not useful for the body. So they know that something else is actually going to happen. The chart? Something else is going to actually happen when they give you those drugs and chemicals, and that's just a constant connection. They're going to keep you connected to them because of that, okay? So this is how the body is set up through the iris of the eye. Your body is split in half. Half your side, your body, you inherited from your mother. The other half, you inherited from your father. Every person comes in the world with at least 12 to 15 weaknesses in the body. You have 102 systems. So you say 12 or 15 weaknesses may not seem like a lot, but it depends upon which systems are weak or how you're going to feel, okay? You have what are called key systems of the body, okay? And I'm just going to go over some of them because if those systems are not working, your body can't heal. I don't care what you have. You have to have balance, and everything is a balance. So you have to have balance in the body just as like you have to have balance in your life in order to maintain good life, okay? So you'll have starting from this side here is your ascending colon. This is how life began, believe it or not, from the colon. You started out as a bowel. Ascending, your transverse colon that connects you to the other side. You are descending, sigmoid, run on out to the rectal anal area, which is 8 miles to that colon. Then you have 21 feet of small intestine that sits in the center. Now, 8 miles is a lot of colon. That's why when you go to the doctors and you contract cancer, you can cut off so many feet and they say, well, that's okay. You know what I mean? You have a lot more left. But that's not true. You start cutting things away, then you're going to run into blockages. What's going to happen, things are going to start to cut off and not circulate the way that they should, okay? So I know a lot of you probably heard that 95% of your diseases stem from your colon, okay? I like to call it the garbage disposal. That's where everything leaks out and starts to spill into where we have a weak spot in the body. It starts from the colon, large and small intestine, then the waste material in the body filters down through your kidneys, gallbladder, then it ends up in your liver. The blood that pumps out of your liver then goes into your heart, and then the heart sends everything back to your circulatory system, lymphatic and circulatory system. So it's one connection. It's one connection. It's no way out unless you're helping it to work itself out. And that's all I do, is I teach you the process of elimination. I magnify your eyes with the magnifying glass and light, and that shows me what I went to school to study are weaknesses, discolorations, markings, and lesions, something you can't see with a naked eye. But when you magnify it and you learn it, you understand what it is, okay? And it holds true, okay? Now, I went over the colon, but surrounding this colon, the only thing that separates your colon from your other organs, it's what's called the autonomic nerve ring. This is this white ring in the center here. That's your nervous system, one of them, that's attached to the colon. So if 95% of us have some toxic material in our colon, there's also 95% of us that's really stressed out, because you can't have one bad thing without having the other. It's attached, okay? So 95% of us have some form of stress in our bodies. And then we have the outside stress that triggers off what's really going on the inside. People think it's stressful. I'm not in a stressful environment. Yeah, well, you have some undesirables inside that's pressing on those nerves and it's sending signals out to the rest of the body, causing illness, causing weakness, causing depressions and all types of diseases that you can't imagine, okay? So these are key systems now. These systems must be in good working order in order for you to think in terms of having health, all right? Now, we have the thyroid gland. I'll just stay here. The thyroid gland. The thyroid gland is the gland that controls the fat in the body, all right? You can't burn up too much fat. That's why the people who are hyperactive and always wanting to eat and eat a lot of food, but they're so, their bodies are like, it's like on speed, you know what I mean? It burns up all the calories and the fats in the body, okay? So you can't have a thyroid that's burning up too much fat, or you can't have a thyroid that's not burning up enough fat, okay? It's a key system that must work, all right? And then you have the the lungs. I'll just go with the lungs, the upper respiratory system, all right? You must deep breathe. And 95% of us are not doing that because they don't even know how to breathe. They don't even know how to breathe from their mouths, the way we're supposed to breathe, and let it out. You understand? So 95% of us are walking around getting a lack of oxygen to our brains, okay? Because 50% of our brain needs oxygen. It is water. So you need a high concentration of oxygen going to the brain. And the brain is, of course, what tells the body what to do. So if your brain is out of balance, your whole body's out of balance. You know, it's a king. You know what I mean? It's the king of this distribution of showing us what we need, walk, talk, think, all the things that we do is coming from that brain. So you must have a good working brain, and lack of oxygen, exercise, and all that, it plays that role, all right? So we must have deep breathing, good lungs. Then we have the kidneys. These are all the ways that waste has to leave the body. And these are the systems that were designed to get rid of that waste for us naturally, okay? And when these systems, again, are not working, your body's holding on to more waste than it should, and the waste that the body is supposed to throw off naturally every day, which is scientifically 2.5 pounds. Scientifically, we're supposed to throw off 2.5 pounds of waste material out of our skin every single day just by sweating. But most of us don't do enough form of exercise. We don't drink enough water, you know, to form that sweat to throw it off. And that's why we're diseased. Because again, we're holding on to toxins that we shouldn't have, that the body should be throwing off on its own, all right? Then we have this system here. And I always can't wait to get here because no one ever talks about that, okay? The spleen. The spleen is 3/4 of your immune system. 3/4 of your immune system, and nobody wants to talk about it. Doctors even, they haven't even figured out what the purpose is yet, much less talk about it. They don't even know what it is. I remember, I think Williams, my nephew, he's got to be 45 years old right now. And I remember even being a little girl, but a very sick little girl. I remember when they took his spleen out, he was 9 years old and he didn't grow, and he would always wind up with fever blisters all the time, which is nothing but a viral, it's a low immune deficiency, okay, that's in the body, which comes from the spleen typically. And they knew it had something to do with it, but they couldn't connect it. So what did they do? They took it out. So now he has no immune system. Wow. So he had to actually leave New Jersey because he was dying. He couldn't breathe. He was getting sick. He was catching everything that you could catch. So he had to go move into the country. So at least he wasn't, you know, at least he's not in such an environment where he's just catching everything. They took that at 9. He's 40 years old. He's still living because, you know, the things that he's learned throughout the years. I've helped the family. You know, I've taken good care of my family. I thank God for that. You know, that I've been able to deal with every disease imaginable. So whatever you have, it doesn't matter. Take care. care of my children, and I taking care of my grandchildren. Okay, there's and believe me, I've been tried and tested. I mean, I was never supposed to have children. I have 7 children. Insides were totally restored. I have 14 grandchildren and one to come, to still live here, to still be getting that same thing. I birthed my own. I still birth my own children, my grandchildren. No one touches them. My children have never been in the hospital in their life because society won't allow you to do certain things. At this point, I'll go in, and we're going right out. Once that baby's born, we clean them up and take them home. I never stayed in the hospital more than a day. Doctor got so used to me, I know you're going home. Yeah.
There's a whole lot more in there, but I'm gonna stop right there. I just wanted y'all to see I'm not making something up about mother and using my mother as an example. My own mother, not somebody else's mother. My own. This is her in her element, teaching and educating. So this is the one I told y'all that was helping people get off drugs and dealing with the maladies. This is my mother, you know, and now she has become a universal mother, a universal healer, a universal teacher from the realm of the ancestral realm. This is her teaching and building. And Black Dot told me that this is one of his most requested lectures from people around the world. That's what he told, right? My eldest sister, she told me after my mother passed that this was in November. So, December, January, my mother was like, I said, yo, the DVD is going to be everywhere. People are going to be calling you all over the place from everywhere. Thousands and thousands of people are going to call you. Trust me. When this word get out, the word is going to get out. So she didn't see much from, December and January, and she transitioned in February. For the next year, from March to March, my sister said people was calling and calling and calling and calling and calling and emailing and calling and emailing and calling and emailing and leaving messages and calling. And she said that she always knew that my mother was out there helping people, but she didn't know to what magnitude that really meant until she was getting all of these calls. She was listening to these voice messages. She was listening to and reading voice notes and emails and all of that stuff. She saw my mother one way. She's the eldest child. And, one day I'll get into the science between the eldest and the middle and the youngest child. But she was the eldest child, so she knew my mother differently than all the rest of us. So she saw my mother and they sort of grew up together. So she didn't see my mother the same way that the world saw. But she said, outside of what she knew, and of course she was on the business with my mother, uh, outside of what she knew, she had no clue about my mother until she passed. Because the woman that they were calling for is not the woman that she knew. The one who was helping people save their lives for that had past 30 years that she spoke about wasn't the woman that she knew. she didn't know. She knew mother, but she didn't know the mother that she was becoming for the world after 30 years of studying and training and, you know, dealing with everything from the common cold to AIDS. I was a young man. I was like 5 or 6 years old. And there was a younger man in my neighborhood. I was on my way to school when I saw the crossing guard. And the crossing guard was his grandmother and she was crying. And, she tried to straighten up in front of me. I said, what's wrong with you? And she told me about her grandson. And I said, oh, bring him to my mother. My mother can fix him. Or my mother might be able to help him. And the relief she had on her face. I don't know if I was 5 or 6. I might have been 7. Ain't no telling. It's something around that, between 5 and 7. Um, the crossing guard brought her grandson to see my mother. And they had given him 2 months to live, I believe. Either 2 months or 2 weeks. They had the Make a Wish Foundation. She talks about this in the rest of the video, but I remember it from a child. And they gave him tickets to Disneyland, basically his death wish. And my mother worked with that young man. And he's still alive from then. So when you start talking about mother and mothering and mothering a nation, if a nation can rise no higher than its woman, then each mother doesn't mother a family, she mothers a nation. Within her womb comes forth a nation, not a child. Each child is a nation unto their own. So if you have 10 children, you have 10 nations. So understand that nurture in each of the sons and daughters, each have nations within them. They give birth to nations as well. And all of that pinnacle in the essence via the gestation, via the pain and the morning sickness and the feet spreading and all the nose spreading and the milk coming, all of those things in preparation for the child or the nation or the nations coming from her womb. She mothers them into existence. And as she mothers them into existence in the physical world, the job doesn't stop. The saga continues. And if you've ever seen or been a part of a birth, you truly witness a miracle. I was there for my children being born. I saw the hip separate for my children to come out of the womb. We don't see mother as she is. We don't honor her enough as she is for what that means to have a human being a nation or many nations in the womb. Flip and turn upside down to come out head first. No briefing, no instruction manual, no class, none of that. This child who is a mighty nation coming out of the womb does this without instruction, but divine guidance. She does this in gestation. She allows her body to become the first refuge, the first shelter, the first home, the gateway, the doorway, and the pathway into the physical world from the realm of the unseen that begins as a clot. All of us running around. And now that we've become grown and mighty, we look at mother as if we would be here without her. Childbirth, after gestation, sleepless nights, all of this period of mothering you to a adult, from embryo to infant to toddler to young child to teenager to adult. No matter what your standing is in the world, right, wrong, or indifferent, mother is there. Because through the drama, I could always depend on my mama. Because through the drama, I could always depend on my mama. I hear them lyrics and them songs and all of that stuff, but you don't give mama that reverence. You don't give her that reverence. You don't give that womb that reverence that gave you life, that brought you into the physical world, that gave you nursing and gave you nutrients, that prepared you spiritually, emotionally, physically, and mentally for the world. For you to go out and to mistreat the womb that gave you birth. I don't even know if there's a penalty that is great enough to give you for that. You have allowed the ways of the world to dissuade you and to turn you against mother. So the reverence for the womb, the reverence for the one you call mother, we have to do a greater job in that honor. After my mother passed, I had a dream about her and we was talking our ish, and I woke up and I grabbed my phone to call my mother. And I remembered that I couldn't call my mother anymore on the phone. I remembered in that moment as I was dialing her number to call her number that I could not call my mother on the phone again. The womb that gave you birth, the mother that gave you life, that gave you sustenance, that brought you into existence in the physical world, if she did not do something of ill repute to you, something you can't reconcile, something you can't get over, fix it. While you can still call her, while you can still FaceTime her, while you can still text her, while you can still DM her, whatever the case may be. If it's not that egregious, I promise you, when you go to pick up that phone and you can't call your mother anymore, you will be reminded that you could have, that you could have fixed it. And that's all you will be plagued with in your heart and in your being. And it doesn't matter what else is going on in the world, nothing will be able to give you that comfort again. So if you're able to fix it, if you're able to reconnect that bond, reestablish that bond, that spiritual and emotional umbilical cord, fix it. Because when I want to see my mother, I got to go on the internet. This is on my page, so I got to go on the internet. Before that, I had to go find it on the internet. You know, I got the DVDs, things like that, but I had to go on my mother on the internet just to hear my mother speak. I could dream about her. I can hear her voice. I could see her. She exists. I know she exists. And another reality, none of this happened. I go there, but when I wake up, I can't call her on the phone. You got one mother that gave you birth, one, one, one. If relationships are strained with your mother, strained with your children, if y'all are estranged to one another, fix it. If something happens to your mother or one of your children that is not righteous, and you had the power to reach out to reconcile, if they don't want to reconcile, your heart and your mind is at peace. But if you had the opportunity and your ego or your pride or whatever you thought you were standing on that was so damn important, I promise you it will not be important anymore. So the reverence and the honor for mother, that is due. It's incalculable. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end with that right there. There's a war on mother. There's a war on mother from those who do not have one. And we need to make it right. With the cosmic mothers, with the earthly mothers, with the mothers of the water, with Mother Nature, with Mother Earth, with Mother Universe, and with our own mothers in our own families, and our mothers in our communities. So I'll be back later on today. This is day, 11 now? And I'll be dealing with my brother, the wartime General King Samir. Strive to get him to come through. Like I said, it'd be better if he came through. If he can't come through tomorrow, I probably won't do it. Tomorrow, I'll schedule it when he can come through. But yeah, we'll get it done. If not, I'll switch it with someone else. So, peace and love. See y'all later on the flip side.
Good evening, Commander Priest. This is Helen with Mission Control. All systems are go for tonight's mission. If everything goes according to plan, you'll be back at the space station within 8 hours. Please be safe out there, Commander.
During the space flight, late night, Todd laughed in the pod craft as we engage heights. All systems a go. Bird head to PlayStation. Eye on you. Come in, Squawk and Crow. The burrow owls are looking good. Look out for further commands. Wingspan. The birds are now in dreamland. How's it out there, Captain? Tell me. Eerie. Kinda tired. I could use a coffee from the deli. That's a long way. RSJ. There's no asteroids, Commander. Clear. I'll reach back in 7 hours. Now I'm about to get some winter beer. Goodbye, ducks. His eyes shut. Shut all his gears. Put himself in auto steer through the spheres.
Godspeed, Commander.
Turbulence, rumbling, all systems go. Get up quick, crew grab control. Hold, levels up, the ship turns sideways. Gaze the nebula, it's beautiful. Alarms ringing, horn shouting, sprinklers go off. The god is rerouting, the crew shouting, trying to keep balance. A great explosions to silence.
Mission Control to Priest. This is NASA. Can you hear me? Come in, Priest. We're losing your
I
signal.
can't tell if it's still or moving. Space woman of the crew screams. Our voice cups as we split up. I'm being pulled by this blue beam. Consciousness losing, but I got my camera on me. Suddenly I get a feeling so soothing. At the same time remembering to put my camera on 4D. It's foggy. In the planes I see something I couldn't explain. It's strange, it looks like an object from World War III. I put my camera to my face and try to adjust the lens. Just then I was ushered in by this warm gust of wind. Eerie light storms, alien life forms touched my skin. I felt quite calm, a part of me trusted them. I stopped struggling. They showed me a life without suffering. Worlds without wars, no threats, no clashing of swords. They gave me a pill with this liquid that began to heal chronic illness and sickness. Seven seal, the will within the will quickened. We went up and over Felt the rush, higher, lower. They started speaking, I understood in English. There stood this tiny alien next to an 8-footed phoenix, next to an 8 with goat horns. They spoke on photons and protons, and how ancient life prolonged, how life existed with the Dogon. Showed me the difference between the blizzard and the snowstorm. Molten glass so strong, and molten iron pouring through Orion, raining on the planets. On my knees praying, start saying all commandments. They said start standing, we have the cure for all disease, hatred and famine. Let us all take a seat, we're preparing for landing. Repairing what's damaged, body tissue, mental issues, depression, infections, affection, corrections, new directions, no addiction, prescriptions, more wisdom, and the vision. Save the children. We landed on the planet, looked abandoned, but beautiful, lots of canyons, trees with fruit for food, and good to eat. The day was cool, another ship landed. They bring one of my crew, space woman out. It feels like deja vu, on this planet that's new, and even from the Milky Way too. The alien said, you are us, and we are you. We came from the dust, small as particles. My space woman running closer and closer. They said, let us give you one more jewel. They said man is intelligence, and this particular ship is made from one of your elements. We are known as the Yahwehs, the Ancient of Days, and this ship is made from clay. We have an experiment, we want y'all to stay. We felt it's not good for you to be alone, so we brought your space woman, flesh of your flesh, bone of your bone. There's also other beings here, from distant planets. They built kingdoms here, so you're not left stranded. Follow not their ways, the Yahweh's commanded. Cause you know what happened before, it'll do damage. Now, just give names to everything. As they stood before me, they transform into balls of flames. Want to be fruitful and multiply. As they got back in their ships, flew into the sky. At the same time, the space woman arrived. She asked Captain, what happened? Our ship, the explosion, that moment. Contact with no one. Back then, she said I was led up this golden path by this soft light. Then on a ship with a staff, winged beautiful beings. Said they was from the Nile Valley of kings and queens. The things around me got cloudy, their voices distorted. Something Elohim. It felt godly at the start. Then they named themselves after body parts. They said the galaxies was like the arteries, he was the heart. They said they were responsible for man's greatest art, and the pyramids. And the ship I was in, they called man's rib. Then I passed out and we landed.
Commander, wake up. Someone is approaching the ship.
Wow, did you see that? We both turned back. It was a man with the mask of a cat. We both shocked. You speak English? I find it convenient. Most of us do, being from Venus. Let me ask you, did you meet the ape and the phoenix and the little genius? Did they sell you game and a meaning? Welcome to my place, it's called Eden. Y'all should feel safe. I'll be back to talk this evening. They'll be back probably beginning of the weekend. Y'all should know that they visit frequent. I'm just an old cat, headed to my kingdom. 7,000 years passed since we saw the beings last. This not Earth, time moves fast. Planted trees, fertilize the grass. Cool of the day, check the wind cast. Then in the air, something moved like it's clay spinning fast. The Yahwehs came, they called my name, then explained that we must not exchange knowledge with the other people, we are not the same. They were already here. Y'all came from the spheres with new ideas. They made themselves clear.
Carefully chosen priest, do not disappoint.
I told them about the man that we met. Wore a hat like a cat. They asked, come again, what was that? We said that was years ago. Where at? Near that tree where the 5 rivers flow. They stepped back as the doors opened on a UFO. Any contact with this cat, you should let us know. We'll be back in 100 years to see how things go. In fact, to remember we were here, we'll leave a rainbow. Alert as we ever been. I wrote my name in the dirt. Space woman did the same, she wrote Evelyn. I said Evelyn, I call you Ev. Then named myself one of the elements, then went to bed. Woke up in the morning and saw snakeskin shed. The cat came back, take off the cat mask. At last he will reveal himself, gorilla help. A shiny ass, brick fruit in his hand. Ninja boots he stands, within the group to advance. I see you met the cat. The serpent said, we are all the beings in the zodiac. You are visitors, I have trivias. Taurus and the goat, Egyptian gods from far. For instance, from a distance, Horus scopes, Abraxas rooster crow. This war fragment uses codes, those thoughts. On course, north, east, west, south. Past and present event reports. Acronym for newspaper, figured out. Another story for the winged people. Saga, the Naga, Nada, Kabbalah. Or the itsy bitsy spider up the water spout. The mothership returned with a couple concerns. They landed about dusk to discuss what we learned. It was 3 of them and 3 of us. The snake said, I'm glad we meeting up. They faced red as the evening shut. The snake asked, has you told them how the knowledge was lost? They said no. Well, I'm here for support. They wouldn't know good and evil unless it was taught. It's a diet. Try it. Here's a spoon for resource. Now stir it in courage with a tuning fork. The spoon and the fork, that's food for thought. She said that was good and gave some to me. I listened to this knowledge too, how bad could it be? This food for thought, now we both can see. I'm 6 foot, she's 5'3", we tall as trees. The alien said, Pa replied to Messa. Messa said they're like one of us gods. Then Tanya said they must leave our yard. The knowledge that you feed off, you now starve. At odds, we all learned their names. Winds blew, thunder, then it rained. They commanded all 3 of us be banished. The snake and me and my companion. Raining blood in the place was the name as the same as the God that was blaming us. Messa and Pa and Tanya, in the gods we trust. Plus, this yard was named after us, Mesopotamia. Other gods named Ka, Ra, and Af came in their place after they left. We said their names, but replaced it. Af, Ra, Ka, ascending master. Neutrons, quarks, but atom was the mineral I named myself after. Allegory, subliminals is the original chapter. The scattered, it's the writers with. In the land of kings between the Euphrates, too wavy, and the Tigris, the Woos, KP.
Knowledge bone. What's the science, baby?
Yeah. Now we gonna tell them. That in front. We tell them like this, yo. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a African. Yeah, y'all like that? No more. This man's mind is open. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a. Let's get back to the gritty.
Motive is best developed by recognizing the common enemy.